Hello, everyone. Welcome to Own Your Wellness. I'm your host, Julianne Meyer, and it's good to be back. In case you didn't notice, last week was reruns. Some stuff happened, and I needed to take some personal time, so I'm glad to be back. And I've got a very special guest today. I adore her. She is so much fun, and she helps me look like me, only times infinity. So anyway, her name is Krista Kopischke, also not known or goes by, if I could speak, Krista Clementine. So let's bring her on and talk with her about all things beauty and health and wellness. Hello, Krista. Thank you for joining us today. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
So excited. It was one of those fortuitous meetings that we had, and I was like, I adore this woman, and I hope she says yes to come on the show. So thank you for being here.
You had a vibe.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would love if you would share a little bit about your own wellness journey with the audience.
Yeah, so it kind of started when I was pretty young. I was actually living in Australia and I decided just to move there. And of course, I was not eating very well and I started to get really bad gut issues. It kind of started before I went, but super bad gut issues, either constipated or bloated. And then I had really bad brain fog, which really sucked being, 23, 24, going through all of that. And no doctors could help me, and I wasn't getting answers. And actually, in Australia, they're really big into naturopaths and natural medicine. So I found the most amazing naturopath, and she did like a full comprehensive stool test and gave me all these gut healing protocols. Like I learned I had leaky gut, and which I also learned like 80% of the population has leaky gut issues as well. So I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I really had to work really hard with diet and supplements, gut healing things, cutting out alcohol and bad food for a while to actually really heal my gut. And I noticed, my brain fog, totally go away. And I had a lot more energy and, my gut issues went away. And, it just helped me learn and take my health into my own hands and learn how to actually like take care of myself properly.
I love that. A lot of people, like you said, there's a lot of people who deal with a leaky gut. And have you noticed too that, I don't know since you're healed now, but I noticed whenever I start to have an issue, I realize it has to do with how much sugar I'm consuming. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, okay, I need to slow that down. Do you have that same sort of
Yeah.
problem or issue? Yeah.
Yeah. Sugar, and I'm not gluten intolerant, but I notice like on my arms I get little bumps after I eat too much gluten. And then gosh, the other day I had this skin client and you can so tell this will make you never want to eat sugar again. So she had her whole chin, um it's this type of wrinkle, it's called glycation, and they're like crisscrossed all over the face. Um and I asked her, like, do you eat a lot of sugar? And she said she was in her 50s and she said her favorite candy was Nerds. And she would eat Nerds all the time. I'm like, and I could see it on your skin. It actually causes that certain type of wrinkle, glycation on the skin. So that definitely, and it also causes rosacea inflammation in the skin as well. So that's one thing to like cut out as much as you can.
I didn't even know they made Nerds anymore. That's kind of crazy. So you are definitely an expert in all things skin. So I would love for you to share anything you want to, and then we'll go from there based on what you share first.
So I started working at med spas when I was still in high school. I was 18. And then I went from working at for a dermatologist as a medical assistant. So I was in the room with the doctor for every skin issue, rash, skin cancer, skin check, surgeries. So, and then coming from the holistic side after tried to heal myself and studied all about nutrition and health, I kind of, my philosophy is like marrying the two together, the medical side and then the holistic side as well. So that's kind of where, all my philosophies come from. I learned so much from those doctors and seeing everything. And then I was fortunate enough to be able to, when I lived in Australia, actually do really heavy duty laser treatments and worked at the best med spa in Sydney. So that was really cool learning experience.
That's amazing. And I love that you marry the two. I think that's one of the things that really made me attracted to what you had to say, especially and also living in Australia is pretty awesome. But you know, a lot of people think it's either or. And I love that you know, it's kind of like science or religion. Well, it doesn't have to be one or the other. It can be both. So I love that you help your clients, you know, using all the information that you have instead of just bits and pieces. So what would you say? Well, actually, I've got a question. If you have wrinkles, all right, since you mentioned wrinkles, is there a way to make them less obvious?
Definitely. You know, there's a lot of there's again, like marrying the two together. There's tons of holistic ways, and then there's really, if you want like fast results. So I'll go into the fast results stuff first. So I'm a big fan of laser treatments. I feel like it's great because it's plumping up your whole face without having to cut anything, without having to inject anything. You're not changing ratios of your face. It's just making your skin stronger. So doing something like a Fraxel treatment or a CO2 laser, there is a bit of downtime, but it basically clears the canvas, makes you look 5 years younger, plumps your whole face. Another one that's no downtime is radiofrequency needling or just skin needling. That's a great thing too, because there's no downtime with that. And it's called collagen induction therapy, where it's creating some kind of wound to, you know, kickstart that collagen production. And then the natural stuff, which I do every single day, is I love my jade roller and gua sha. I'm a huge fan of like ironing out the lines. I was with my girlfriends last night and I was messing around with them. Like, you gotta iron them out. Because my friend just got Botox. And I don't do Botox personally, but I'm not against it. You know, everybody has different strength muscles in their face. But I keep my little gua sha. It's basically a flat piece of jade or rose quartz, and it massages the face.
Oh, I never thought of that. I know that you mentioned to me before about like the face massager.
Yes.
I love that. I started doing that, by the way. So
yes. Oh, I have mine right here. This vibrates, and you just can keep it in your shower. And I scrub with it first, and then I turn up the vibration all the way, and then just lightly move upwards. And you're not only defying gravity, but you're bringing a ton of circulation to the skin, which carries out waste and brings nutrients to your skin. And you know, you're washing your face anyway, so it's quick and easy.
I love that. And the thing too that I love about what you're teaching today is that it's not just beauty. It's also, you know, like you said, releasing toxins. And, you know, obviously skin is the biggest organ that we have. So we should treat it with respect because we only have this one body. So, you know, that's just my thoughts. But what else? I mean, because you look amazing and you say you don't use Botox. And I know that you do, but I'm assuming that you drink plenty of water, sleep well, all of that as well.
Yeah, I think number one, more than anything, is sleep. Sleep is the most important thing out of anything. If your sleep isn't right, if you're not getting at least, you know, 7 to 8 hours at least, you need to fix that, because that messes up your hormones. That messes up, like, that's your body's time to repair and rejuvenate, and also get rid of cortisol in your body as well. So the main things is, like, I try to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. And I even have this like little essential oil diffuser in my room because it's kind of dry in California, and I feel like it is humidifying the air a little bit. And I put this sleep blend that I've had forever, and I let it run all night, and it's humidifying the air in my skin, and it's just like a signal to my brain that it's time to go to bed. And then it's good to sleep in a cold room as well. Yeah, and blue blocking glasses once the sun goes down.
I never even thought about that. Yeah, that's something I usually just turn off any electronics and that sort of thing once it's about a half an hour before my bedtime, and then also try and keep all of them away from my bed.
Yeah,
But that doesn't always work.
Yeah, you don't want to be sleeping next to all the EMF, electromagnetic frequencies and all of that stuff.
I don't know if you know this, but I'm just curious. Does that actually, the EMF, would that affect your skin as well? Or is it, I know that
people are more sensitive to it than others, but, it does affect our cells. And a lot of it's still unknown.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So, you know Tim Ferriss, or are you familiar with him?
Mm-hmm.
So I read his book a while back, The 4-Hour Body, and he talks too about the humidifier and how that actually does help, revive your skin, and also with wrinkles and that sort of thing. But also, just because he wants to be healthy. So that was the main reason why I did it. So I love that you've done that too. Did you used to have an issue with going to sleep, or is that easier now because you do have this routine?
Yeah, I do have a wind down time, an hour before bed. It's Epsom salt bath, or magnesium powdered drink, or some tea, or try not to watch really scary movies or something very stimulating. It is good to have that wind down period, and it's natural for us, with the blue blocking glasses. It's hard to avoid for most people, to avoid electronics or even having lights on.
Mm-hmm.
A long time ago, when the sun went down, that would kickstart our melatonin production. And when you put those on, then it kind of helps that, happen a lot better.
I never even thought about that. I love that idea. I know that you have some background in health coaching, and I'm just curious, what do you see as an issue that people, because I'd love to talk a little bit more about skincare, but I want to do that later in the show because I think it's really, really important. So I want to talk about this quick before we go to commercial break. Well, not quick, but we have a few minutes. But I know that for myself, as I run into people with sort of the same types of issues, do you happen to see a typical issue that most people come to you with?
Inflammation.
Oh, amen to that.
And it comes out through your skin.
Yes.
I remember when I worked for the dermatologist, I would listen to her say oh, what you're eating doesn't affect your skin. And I was only 21 when I would listen to her say that, and it just didn't seem right. Mm-hmm. And I know that's not right now. And she would, people would have rosacea, and they said it can't be cured. It can. But just she can't cure it with her, medications, but they could make it better. But you can cure this stuff, and a lot of stuff is reversible. Acne is a form of inflammation, which a lot of people suffer with.
I didn't know that. That's interesting. I thought it was just clogged pores. So, Krista, are you there? Looks like we had her frozen. Okay, so because of that, we are going to go to a commercial break, and we will be right back. Hey everyone, welcome back. Fortunately, we got Krista back. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but let's bring her back on. Yay! I was like, oh no, she's frozen. It happens. That's, that's the internet, right? Uh-huh. So we were talking about skincare inflammation and how acne is a form of inflammation. And I was saying how I thought it was more clogged pores. Does that play a part of it as well? Or, I mean, can you explain it? I'm curious.
Yeah, it's definitely clogged pores, but that's actually a lot less common.
Interesting.
Yeah, most people, like if you look at people's acne, it's that really red inflamed acne. That's when it's an inflammation issue, when it's very red and inflamed. And then hormonal acne as well. That's obviously hormonal and inflammation too. Um, but it's usually not just, it's usually younger people. Like when I see teenage boys, it's from sweat and not washing their face. But that's not really the case with most people. It's usually from a toxic liver, unbalanced hormones, and an unhealthy diet, or something in their diet, such as like gluten, dairy, sugar, that or something that they could be allergic to that's causing their skin to be angry. Because whatever can't leave your body, toxins overloaded, it's going to come out through your largest exit organ, which is your skin.
That's actually really fascinating to me. And I thought I knew a lot about skin, not obviously nearly as much as you do, but I had no idea. So what are some other signs of inflammation that show up in your skin?
Rosacea, definitely. And even like eczema, psoriasis as well. Those are actually like autoimmune conditions for the skin. And usually if people go like on a autoimmune paleo kind of a diet, that really helps, or a gut healing diet. I had a client once that went on like a bone broth cleanse for just a few days, and her acne completely cleared up. I've had a client also just cut out dairy, didn't change anything else, and her acne cleared up. So when you're working with someone, you want to work with someone that like knows about all of these different things as well, and helps you be that detective, because you really have to be a detective.
No, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And, something that you said before that I kind of want to touch on again is how you said you had, well, you didn't say this, but that you have a sensitivity to gluten. And I just want to and a lot of people have a sensitivity to dairy. It doesn't mean that you have to be allergic to it or even have an intolerance for it to affect you negatively. And a lot of people don't really realize that. So, for somebody who's trying to figure out, what their issues are, and it's showing up in their skin or even in like the brain fog or whatever symptoms, this is symptoms. Would you recommend that maybe somebody try an elimination diet to see what that might be? Would that be something?
Yeah, definitely. Elimination diets are hard, but they're so good to do at least once in your life. There's tons of resources out there, but elimination diet, even doing like a little detox yourself, like taking liver cleansing herbs. I do a little detox. It's not like a fad diet or something. It's more 3 days out of every season or so. I give my body a break from digesting the hard things. So I make a big old pot of soup, vegetable soup, and have like steamed veggies with this like ginger sauce for lunch, and then green smoothies and like snack on fruit and cucumbers for 3 days, and then take lots of liver cleansing stuff. You could even do like a enema, or like get a colonics done so that stuff doesn't stay stuck in you. And then taking like magnesium powder or Epsom salt baths, or going to a sauna, that stuff for like 3 days. It could be like a weekend even. Doing that kind of thing every season or so will keep that toxic load of your body at bay.
I actually did a candida cleanse, and anybody who's watching the show has probably heard me talk about this before, and it was brutal. I'm not going to lie. It was so hard to knock out all that sugar. I didn't even realize how addicted I was to it. And, but it really reset everything. And that's when I discovered I have a sensitivity to gluten, and I don't do dairy well, which is actually great because I have a major obsession with cheese. So the fact that it doesn't treat me well makes it easier not to eat. But yeah, I love the idea of taking care of yourself in general. And like I said, it's more than just broccoli and burpees. There's ways that you can take care of your skin as well. So You had mentioned to me privately that I would love for you to talk about the sun. What are your thoughts about that? Because I know a lot of estheticians have like no, and some of. Why don't you just share, please?
Yeah. So yeah, I have a little bit this is where my holistic side comes out rather than the medical side. The medical side says lather yourself up with oxybenzone, which is toxic to marine life, and never go in the sun at all. It's going to give you cancer, and that's the narrative that we're taught, and it's just not right. But some people spend too much time in the sun. They bake in the sun midday. So um, for me, I think sun, like it's actually proven it's so important for our energy, our mood, our sleep, and even our mitochondria function, which is like the powerhouses of our cells, and they kind of deplete as we get older. So we need that for healthy hormones, everything. It's super important, and of course, vitamin D, which we all need right now for immunity. And so one thing that's really, really important is to only get morning sun if possible. Like if you are going to get your sun, get it in the morning. There's less UVA aging rays and UVB burning rays in the morning.
I didn't know that. That's fascinating. Well, I guess it's a good thing that's when I go out.
Yeah. So
I
having your
love that.
morning coffee outside on your patio or going for a morning walk, even getting that sunlight in your eyes really like tells your circadian rhythm, hey, it's morning, it's time to have energy. So it actually will give you a boost in the morning. People just go straight from their room to their home office and right in front of a screen, and that's just not the way to be.
No, to me, it seems just like existing. And I know that I've been guilty of that myself. But since I work at home now, I've changed my schedule around so much that, I love to go. I mean, because I also personal train. So if I'm training somebody, I'll go to the beach right after because I'm done at 7:30 in the morning. So why not?
Yeah.
That's perfect timing.
Yeah.
But, I think that people forget that they need to live as well as survive. So what I'm saying is like, why not drink your coffee on your porch or your deck or whatever instead of just going straight to the computer? I mean, I've read recently that our brains aren't really and our bodies aren't intended to go from 0 to 100 so quickly as we do. Like we get up and we check our phones and we're instantly in emails and things like that, and it's like the downshift is too hard on us and we don't even really realize it. So I'm curious, since you are health and wellness personified, what does your morning look like?
So I have an awesome morning routine. I've been working on this for a while. Um, so I'll give you details. I wake up the same time every day, and I go pee, and then I wash my face with cold water just to kind of wake me up, and then I'll show you what I use. This thing here. So it's basically a light stem. So it's red light and infrared light, and I use it on my face. So this brand light stem is actually FDA approved for wrinkles.
Oh,
So,
wow.
and then it makes your mitochondria happy. It gives your skin energy, and for me, I think it just makes my skin look good in the morning because it kind of depuffs it and helps with circulation. So I put on a 10-minute morning meditation while I do this on my face, and I'm just like laying in bed, chilling. And so that I really, really enjoy because I get my meditation in. Stress and aging goes hand in hand. So it's super, super important, you know, to keep that at bay and try to do some kind of meditation or, mindfulness or breathing every single day. And then after that, I usually read for like, 10 or 15 minutes just so I can get my reading in. And then I make my coffee. Actually, I make my coffee and sit in bed and read, that brings me so much joy and happiness. Like I look forward to that even when I'm going to bed at night.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, and then stimulating my brain. Then movement is really important. So I live by the beach, so I try to make myself go down to the beach every day, and I do what I call my shake and bake. Learned this at a health retreat when I was in Thailand, and it's basically you drink water before and you move your body from your ankles to your head. And that's like a mix of like stretching, yoga, and a light workout. And then I always end it in gratitude at the very end. And seriously, that shake and bake has changed my life. Because if you start your day with, thinking about 3 things that you're grateful for, I always have a good day after I do that. And then the endorphins are pumping and it's great.
Exactly. Plus, what you focus on expands. It's the law of the universe. So if you're focused on things you're grateful for, you get more of that. So I love that idea. People totally underestimate the power of gratitude and how it can change your life. So I'm really glad that you mentioned that, because it's important to me as well. So yay. We do have to go to a commercial break, but we'll be right back. Sound good? Mm-hmm. All right. We'll be right back. Isn't she amazing? I'm so glad we were able to get her back. Yay. Woohoo. And for those of you who are watching us live, welcome. Always adore and appreciate your input, and thank you for your comments. And we will be right back after these messages.
When drug or alcohol addiction take over, things begin to disappear. Your friends, your family, and eventually you. Recommended by Dr. Phil, New Method Wellness can help get your life back with individualized treatment plans for dual diagnosis clients. New Method Wellness provides the most highly credentialed treatment in a safe and welcome environment. Call New Method Wellness for your free consultation and ask about our national accreditations. Together, we can put the pieces back together.
Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're just joining us now, my name's Julianne Meyer and you are watching Own Your Wellness. And today's special guest is Krista Kopischke, also known as Krista Clementine. So let's bring her back and continue our conversation. Hello, Krista, welcome back. So I would love for you to talk about, if you wouldn't mind, about the importance of skincare, like a routine. What's important, what isn't?
Mm-hmm. Every product line has their winners and their losers of the line. I had an esthetician tell me once, I got a facial like a month ago, and she told me you have to only use this line or it's not going to work. And she didn't know I was an esthetician. And that's not true. What's really, really important is hydrating your skin really, really well. You don't want to ever let it dry out. Going back to the sun, discussion that we were having, I really like morning sun. If you're going to go out in the sun, do it in the morning, but in the afternoon, that's when it's very strong. So like if you have to be outside midday and you're baking in the sun, I always suggest wearing a hat. Never let your face touch the sun. Your body, yes, for short periods of time, but not your face, because the sun really does break down your collagen. And I don't really trust sunscreen all the time. 90% of sunscreen only lasts 2 hours on your skin. So that's why I always wear a hat. I have one here. I'll show you. Something like this.
There you go. And you look cute.
I know, isn't it cute? I like it. So, super light too. It doesn't have to be like one of those hot felt ones. Um, because your sunscreen, especially up here, it's gonna sweat right off. When I worked at the dermatologist, all of these people had all along their hairline skin cancers, all along there and around their ears. A baseball hat doesn't cover your ears at all or your neck. Um, so it's really important to wear a hat. And I would say the second thing is to hydrate your skin, especially at nighttime. Who cares if you look oily? When you wake up in the morning, your skin is going to be a lot more glowy and plump, and it will prevent it from getting crepey. If you look at like, you know, Asian skin or African skin, that beautiful, beautiful skin is a lot thicker than, you know, lighter skin, and it's a lot more oily too. People with more oily skin age slower. So you kind of want to mimic that by hydrating your skin really, really well at nighttime. We're not really meant to like strip our skin with soap morning and night and then not replace those oils back on our face.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because, you know, something that you mentioned earlier too is that in the morning you splash your face with cold water. You don't wash it. And, you know, a lot of people, I mean, it's been around as long as I can remember that you need to absolutely wash your face with soap and water twice a day. Is there, I mean, I assume that some people might need to for whatever reason, but that's not a rule, is it?
Yeah. No. Actually, there's a famous, you know, esthetician. She's on Instagram that has that same philosophy as me. She doesn't wash her face in the morning, but you need to wash your face well at night, the night before. If I didn't wash my face well the night before, I will wash it in the morning. So I use, you know, this thing, scrubby, really, really get in all the crevices, especially if you're wearing makeup. It's not good enough just to wash with your fingers just once. You know, you really, really got to get in there. So exfoliating very gently more often also will allow you to be able to hydrate more so you don't get buildup. So you want to exfoliate more and hydrate more.
Absolutely. And then with the face massager, is that something that you should be doing every single day?
Once a day, yeah. If
Okay.
there's some people that don't get a lot of dead skin buildup, me personally, I do. You can see like little white dots and just that rough, you know, build up dead skin texture. So I do it every single day. When I wasn't doing that when I was younger, before I learned about exfoliation, like my whole forehead was just covered with little bumps underneath the skin. Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, so that's what that is. I've always, or what about those little, is it like, oh man, what, somebody said it to me once. I can't remember. They call it like a calcium something or other.
It
right under your skin.
Keratinized skin. It's a mix of oil and keratin, and you know, it can cause, you know, when you just see those little bumpies on the nose or on the chin, and they're not pimples, but they're just like little tiny texture under the skin, or even milia, which are those little tiny, really hard white dots that people get around the eye. That's mostly keratin in there.
Ah, interesting. So how often, I mean, there's a lot of people who would say that a facial, for example, is a luxury and not self-care, as in something that you should be doing like bathing. But I disagree with that personally, and I'm sure that you do too. But I'm curious what kind of a regimen should somebody, and I hate to use that word because it makes it less fun, but how often should somebody be going in, do you think? Or does it just depend on the person and their skin?
Yeah, I mean, I firmly believe that you can learn to be your own esthetician at home. But what I would splurge on going out and getting treatments is something that you can't do yourself. So like a normal fluffy facial, I call them, you can do that yourself. There's so many YouTube videos and learning, you know, platforms out there where you can learn how to properly, you know, cleanse your skin, exfoliate, you know, use an enzyme mask, you know, to get off all the dead skin. Then you can do a hydrating mask. Then you can do a roller. Like you can do that once a week for yourself at home. That's home care is like doing little mini workouts at home. And then coming to me is like going to the personal trainer for your skin, you know? It takes, home care and going somewhere as well.
I love that. I do, because to me, it's, a lot of people get overwhelmed when they're thinking about skincare. And I know that there are some men that don't even bother with washing their face, for example. And it's just such a disappointment, because they could just have so much more healthy skin if they would take the extra 2 minutes to just wash their face, for example.
And all my boyfriends in the past. And they actually, it's so funny. They never wash their face or anything. And then they would actually get addicted to they had to put moisturizer on at night after a while.
Love that. So I'm curious about moisturizers in general. I mean, there's kinds that are for your hand, there's kinds that are for your body, and there's kinds that are for your face. Is there really a difference, or is that a marketing thing?
Yeah. So one rule I have for body lotion is you want to get either fragrance free or only fragrance with scented with natural oils. If it says fragrance in the, the ingredients, it's not good. It's really, really bad for your brain. So that's one thing that you want to get completely natural, because it's covering your whole entire body. And, you can put it on your chest and your neck. But for your face, you want to get a specific face cream. And even that, I really like organic, natural products, even stuff you can get at Whole Foods. Because a moisturizing cream, as long as you like it and it's natural, it's not going to really change your skin in a huge way. It's just there to kind of moisturizer and lock in everything. What you want to really splurge on buying a more expensive, product, something you get at a dermatologist or a med spa under supervision of an esthetician, is a really good serum. So let's say vitamin C serum, or retinol serum, or antioxidants, or exfoliating serum, something like that, because that's liquidy and that's what really goes on first, and that's what's really going to change your skin.
So something like retinol, that's not a poison for your skin?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
It's vitamin A.
Oh, duh. Okay. I don't know why I didn't know that. That seems so easy. But so speaking of products and things, does somebody need like a toner as well? Or there's so many different products out there. Does it just depend on what you're looking for? Or somebody who's even, just starting out, because not everybody knows, they've lived their whole life without really taking care of their skin. For somebody who's just starting out, what are some basics? I mean, obviously they need a really good moisturizer and a cleanser, but what else? Is there something that you would recommend just across the board for everyone?
Yeah, you want a really good, for a cleanser, everyone's skin's different, but I'm a big fan of clear gel cleansers, the milky ones. Even if your skin is dry, it tends to leave an occlusive layer over your skin. So any of your active ingredients you put on after can't penetrate as well. So there are clear gel cleansers that are for sensitive skin or dry skin. Toner, when I worked for that dermatologist, she was like, no, you don't need toner. Toner is just a marketing. And I actually agree with her. I don't think toner is necessary. If you have a good cleanser, that should have your toner in it. I think it's just another product to buy. The only time I very rarely would recommend a toner if someone has that real thickened acneic skin, and it's not very good about washing their face, and it has a lot of buildup, but it's kind of stripping your skin a little bit too much. And serums, there's a lot of products out there that do more than one thing. It's vitamin C and hyaluronic acid all in one. Instead of having to, have those things separately and put them on separately, try to find compounded products that do more than one thing, so you don't have to put on a million different things on your face.
Yeah, because that's where I get lost. If it's not, a few steps and I'm done. I think I'll have the best intentions, but then I just don't do it. So I love that idea of combining it, because the more steps there are, the less likely you are to do it. So unless you're really into it.
Our moms, and they're tired at night. they don't want to have to be putting on a million different things, and they want it to be super, super easy. One thing that's really changed my life is keeping an extra moisturizer, just at least one product by your bed.
Oh,
When you're laying in bed, you're like, oh, darn, I forgot to put on my skincare products at night. It's right there waiting for you, and you can put it on, massage it in, and you got no excuses.
oh, I love that. So I'm going to pop up this. This is how people can find you, is on Instagram, correct? So this is what they look for, your name that way. And I'd love for you to talk about what you're up to these days and what's coming up for you.
Mm-hmm. So currently I work at a really cool health center, and we do a whole bunch of different health optimization things there, and I get to do cryofacials. It's actually a big fad right now. I'm doing cold on the face. The ice rollers are really popular, and this is kind of like an ice roller on steroids, because it actually helps to like lift your skin and help boost collagen. I also do the hydrofacials as well, which incorporate, it's kind of like a mix of microdermabrasion and a chemical peel, and it sucks out all your blackheads. So those are the type of things that, you know, you can't do at home, but those are the type of things that are good to go get done. So I work in Orange County. You can come see me and follow along on my Instagram. I always give a lot of tips every day. And I'm super into anti-aging and slowing down that, you know, not chronological clock, but your biological clock, and in how we feel and how we look. And I'm coming in the future, I'm going to be doing virtual consultations, going through, you know, your diet, what you're eating. You can show me like what kind of products that you're using, and see what you're missing, and help you be your own esthetician from home and get you on to having glowing, beautiful skin.
So I just want to add to that, as somebody who's gone to see you, you are absolutely amazing. And I highly recommend anybody in Orange County to come see this young lady, because she works magic. I could literally see the difference after one visit, and it was so cool. And the thing that also I'd love to share about you that I think is really like something I'm 43, so I've been to a lot of different places and seen a lot of different people at this point in my life, because I've lived in a lot of places. I'm usually pretty loyal, but the point is that you want people to be able to take care of themselves. It's not, you don't set it up so that they have to come see you. Like they, you know, you let people take care of themselves as well. So I love that personally, because that makes me feel like, oh my gosh, she really cares about all of me, instead of just, you know, like trying to have me come back. And so I just wanted to share that, because that's unusual, and I think it's amazing. So yeah, absolutely. So I'm, you know, you're talking about some anti-aging, or let's slow down the process. Obviously drinking water, sleeping well, those are really important. But is there anything that you found is kind of like a, wow, that works, I had no idea, or most people don't know about?
I think feeding your skin is so important. What really changed my skin, where I noticed a huge difference, is having green smoothies every morning, because those nutrients are blended up, easy to digest. You can put all these powders and collagen, and I put weird vegetables in there that I don't want to eat. And it's just like skin food straight to your body, and all those different powders as well. It's just, that's really, really changed my skin, and having a lot of healthy fats in there as well, and healthy fats in general. I think even for some people, you know, they're not getting enough fatty acids, or even animal protein as well, which it doesn't work for everybody, but I do think it has to do with our connective tissue and the integrity of our skin.
The integrity of our skin. I love that terminology. It's one of my favorite things, because I don't think there's any better way to describe it besides integrity.
Yeah.
You know, you
like,
definitely want
healthy, strong skin.
So what I'm curious too is, you mentioned powders and then like collagen in particular. those things work, the powders? I've always wondered. I don't have the patience to try them out. So what would you recommend for somebody who is just starting out?
Yeah, if you don't want to make smoothies, there's a ton of collagen powders out there that you can get at Whole Foods and Sprouts and, you know, normal grocery stores. I think they even have one at Costco. I don't know how good that one is, um, but you can even just start adding a little bit to your coffee. Um, you know, and it is very, very gut healing as well. So that internally, it's kind of like gelatin, and the gelatin is helping to repair all the tissues and lube up your joints and help your skin and your hair and your nails too.
I had no idea. I mean, actually, I sort of did about collagen because I heard that my cousin did a show. She has a podcast, and she did a show with somebody that is like a collagen expert. So I learned a little bit then, but I'd forgotten. So, but you can add that stuff to your smoothies too, correct? If you wanted to, or is it like, are there collagen-rich foods?
You can make, so I make my own bone broth sometimes, and it's super easy to make actually. You just, if you have a crock pot, you just go get a whole organic chicken, and I pick off all the meat, and then I have the carcass there and throw it in the crock pot with some like filtered water, and you put a tiny bit of apple cider vinegar, and that helps get the minerals from the bones. And then you can put in like turmeric and ginger and herbs, and make it like a veggie broth too, and just put it on low for 24 hours and leave it, and you get this beautiful gelatinous broth.
I've never even thought of trying to make that because there's so many products out there, but if you make it yourself, then you know what goes into it. So I love that idea. And it seems pretty low maintenance too, as far as you just throw it in a pot and let it sit there and simmer for 24 hours. So
once the broth is done, then I get all that shredded up chicken, and then I make like a vegetable chicken soup. It's really good.
Oh, there you go. I like that. So
chicken feet and weird other stuff in there too. And you can even make it with beef bones, like beef marrow bones. I used to do that.
What about for somebody who is a vegetarian? What would you recommend? Just a powder, or I mean, I guess that's made. Is it all made from animal?
Yeah, it is. Internally, like if you are a vegetarian, those green smoothies are so good to like put a half an avocado in there to get, or consume an avocado a day to get those enough healthy fats. And, there's even collagen powders that are made with fish. So some people are more open to consuming fish. There's one powder, it has fish collagen protein, hyaluronic acid, which is really, really hydrating from within. And then it also has vitamin C in it. So those kind of things are good.
That's fascinating to me. I am one of those people that I got to keep it simple. I always have the best intentions. So I end up getting all these powders and stuff, and then they sit in my cupboard. So I love the idea of just, smoothies or green juices, things like that. So
even there's green powders.
That's true.
Tons of green powders. So if you're feeling lazy, you don't want to make a whole smoothie, just put it into a little shaker, or, just drink a glass of that every day. But I actually add the green powder to my smoothie.
I've been known to do that. That I can handle. It's like an extra boost. I love that. And then you're more than likely, like you mentioned before about those vegetables that you don't want to eat, you can hide them in there so you don't even know that you're eating them. I love that.
Yeah.
I've definitely eaten some weird stuff in my smoothies. Do you just make yours up as you go along? I'm assuming you don't use a ton of fruit.
No, mostly berries, and sometimes a little bit of avocado. I even put zucchini in there. Zucchini, you can't taste it at all, and it makes it pretty creamy. I kind of mix like half water, half coconut water. Coconut water makes it really good. And spinach as well. Spinach you don't taste at all.
What are your thoughts on like actual juicing if you do it yourself? Because there's like the fiber debate. So I'm just curious where you stand.
Yeah, you're getting those nutrients, really easily, but you don't really want to add any fruit when you're juicing. So
Exactly.
yeah, celery juice. I've heard lots of stories from clients and people that they swear by it. It's really changed everything. I'm too lazy to do that. I think it's too much work. I'll make a smoothie, and I actually make I make one for the next day as well. I know it's not as nutrient dense to like have it in your fridge for a day, but I don't want to make it every day. So for me, I can make a smoothie every other day, and it's just easier cleanup than a juicer. And then I feel like I'm eating a meal too, because I'm putting like flax seeds and chia seeds or hemp seeds and avocado, and I feel like it's just a little more satiating, and that's actually my breakfast.
I love that you mentioned that you don't do it every single day, because a lot of people that would stop them. And yes, it doesn't necessarily have as many nutrients, but it's still better than a bowl of cereal. Like it's not either or. It can be. For a long time, I thought about, for example, blueberries. When I didn't have a lot of money, I wouldn't buy blueberries unless they were organic, because I know how important organic blueberries are as opposed to ones that aren't. But then I would end up buying something like maybe a Twix bar, for example. I'm like, and then I thought about it and I was thinking, you know what? That's really stupid, because even a non-organic blueberry is still better than what I was eating. So I don't know where that came from. It was so silly, but I'm glad that you mentioned that, because a lot of people have that either or mentality. So thank you for sharing that, because not everybody wants to make a smoothie every day. I get it. Or juicing every day. It's not for everyone. So
yeah, it's just, and you can even you don't have to put all this fruit in it. You can make it more like like a lot of men do, like protein kind of shakes. Yes, and sneak in what you can. It doesn't have to be like a frozen, something. Yeah, but exactly. Even in the winter time, like I kind of find that I don't really want to have a cold frozen smoothie, and I make them more like a juice. I put a lot of water in them, or, you can just mix it up and listen to your body.
I love that. We are almost out of time. So I'm wondering if there's anything else you would love to share with the audience, or any last tips or anything that you want to reiterate.
Let's see. I was talking about the sun, and, it's coming into summer. One thing that you could do is, eat your antioxidants. So like stuff like that, smoothies or green tea. I have this stuff here. I got this stuff. It's bio. Oops.
The sun's on it. Bio what?
Bioastin.
Oh, okay.
You can't see it. It's astaxanthin, basically. And that's kind of like internal sunscreen or internal beta carotene. Just like eating orange foods or, yellow foods, like us coming into summer, up your beta carotene and morning sun to get your base tan so you won't burn straight away, and try to use natural sunscreen as well.
And the hat. Can't forget the hat.
Not the hat. Can't forget the hat. That is definitely my number one thing. I really, really believe in hats, because go out and buy a bunch of ones that you're actually going to want to wear. And, if you're going to be outside more than 2 hours that day, just bring a hat with you.
I love that. And also the ears, because nobody ever thinks about the tops of their ears. Those, that's a sensitive skin anyway. And then, like you said, there's no protection. I don't know anybody who puts sunscreen on their ears either. So just saying.
Yeah. Or reapplies it every 2 hours.
Exactly. Well, I'm going to pop this up again. So for anybody who's watching who wants to get a hold of Krista, you can find her on Instagram under Krista Clementine. So Krista, thank you so much for joining us today. It has been such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Julianne.
Awesome. All right. We'll be back in actually on Thursday. So that is amazing. I adore her. Now you know why. And let's get our skin care game going strong. I mean, I feel even more, what's it called? inspired to do so. But anyway, that's all the time we have for today. So I want to say happy Monday, and we will see you on Thursday. Thank you for watching so much.